The second item on the agenda is introduction. That onus is placed on me. It's going to be very quick. We have a galaxy of senior officers present. I'm starting from the far right. We have the admin officer for the complete discipline and internal investigations department, Patrick Jaro, ASP, Assistant Superintendent of Police. And of course, we also have the regional commander from Town East, the man superintendent from Mr. Nicholas of Waterloo Division, CSP, Mr. Francis Ezi, that's me. And of course, we have the third in command at the Criminal Investigations Department. He's the ops officer, the operations man. It's more or less the nucleus of investigation at CID. No matter what, whatever investigation, he has to be free with it. So this is why he's always here. It's a familiar face. MKIU Superintendent. MKIU Superintendent. Good afternoon, ladies. He's head of operations CID. And of course, again, we also have Mr. Bakar Kolima, who is also here on behalf of the Regional Commander for Fulton West. And then we have the Director of Traffic Management and Road Safety, the person of Captain S. Kamara AIG, who's also here with us. And then I'm also here. I hope you are seeing me. I'm also here. I'm Superintendent Kamara, Head of Media and Public Relations, and of course, I'm seeing my media officers around. Cecilia, beautiful Cecilia, and then Edward, they are all here. Mabua, the right hand man, the media unit. And of course, the chairperson for today, as always, or as usual, is the one who is running the Directorate of Community Affairs, Protocol and Gender. It's AIG, Mr. Mustafa Kamara. He's always been around with us. Soft spoken, very unassuming, he knows what he's doing and always delivers at the right time. So,
good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
So it's about time. You know, honestly, for today, if you look at the agenda, we have 3 key items. Of course, the update is going to not come from me, but 3 key items. We're looking at traffic, we're looking at CDID investigations, and then we're also looking at criminal investigations, right? You know, and then we give updates. So all other things will follow. But let me now take the opportunity to invite the chairperson to take over here formally.
Thank you very much, Media One. And once again, I must welcome you to police headquarters. The fact behind it all is that we recognize you when it comes to matter of dealing with members of the community. There is a structure in that arena that normally defines what the organization is doing. That is you. You tell them what we are doing. You talk to them. You tell them what you inform them what the police is doing as a matter of fact. So as it is, your importance cannot be underestimated at all when it comes to matter of policing these days. You have to have a structure that is just charged with the responsibility of informing people that we are talking to, or the people to whom we are performing those responsibilities. If that mechanism is broken, then there will be no essence of having a police. Because there is a whole aspect of it, of police we refer to as... Yes, yes ma'am, you're welcome. There is a whole concept we normally refer to as accountability. The concept of accountability therein is actually, how do you tell the people, how do you account to them, how do you talk to them, how do you tell them about what has happened or what is happening in our community. You have to be there to tell them, and that's more the reason why we normally invite you to come to police headquarters, to come so that we tell you what has happened or what is about to happen. For my own department, really, there was a meeting at the Department of Gender, that's the Ministry of Social Welfare, Minister of, Gender Affairs recently, wherein at least we are asked at least to meet and discuss some of the, referral, whether we need to extend our referral status, especially when sexual offences are committed. Because what is known so far for now is that of reporting to the police whenever there is such a breach in terms of our conduct, persons to persons conduct. We normally do, what do we normally? We normally go to the police to make our complaints. But now gender is saying that no, it is like the distance there is very, very short, or it is like the arena is being tightened, as a matter of fact. So now we have to extend it. We can report to the chiefs, the section chiefs, if there is a very serious matter like a sexual penetration being committed in our neighborhood. Then in the end, the chief there can have the matter sent to the nearest police station. Probably it might come as a matter of how do we get the individual transported and readily available therein. As a matter of fact, you will get the chiefs. The chiefs will come in readily to make sure you are assisted, making sure that at least the individual is taken to the nearest police station, the nearest hospital, as it is. So as a matter of fact, even when there are, as long as those structures are there in our communities, they have to be made known. You have to tell them that this is what has happened, and as a matter of fact, they are also obliged at least to intervene, making sure that at least the individual or the perpetrator therein is made available to the nearest hospital. So it is like extending our referral status, so that in the end our referral paths, so that where an offense of that nature is committed, there should be an individual who should come in readily available to assist the victim by taking the victim to the nearest hospital. So it is like the thing is extending. Now we've had, of course, stop centers around. We have them, though at the pilot stage, we have them around. So in the event there is any commission of the offense itself, you will take the individual or the victim to the nearest hospital. It is no longer a situation where you not find qualified medical doctors. You find them there. There are qualified medical doctors that normally handle those offenses. So you meet them and discuss the issue. You meet them and they have a responsibility to make sure they provide the expert opinion that is required. So on that note, of course, let me just stand a bit. The DIGs, yeah? DIG, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. And also we have Alhaji, Dr. Ahmad Umana. Yes, that's the Director of Operations, as it is. He's how many of you have met with him? Do you know he's a Director of Operations? Yes. He's the longest serving UN police officer from the Republic of Sierra Leone, police force. The longest UN serving police officer. Yes. Well, no, with no qualms attached.
With no biasness.
Yes, with no. Just a way of at least,
telling them about your importance.
Yes, that is it. Yes, how important you are, in our midst. So as it is, now when you look at the agenda here, I don't know. I think, but before we can go further, let's give a chance. Probably the DIG may want to say
Yes, I'm just coming in. Let me just welcome members of the Fourth Estate. Unfortunately, the IGP is not available because of other pre-planned engagements, and we have decided as a team, after our EFB meeting, to join the head of media and other accountable officers so that we can have a comprehensive press briefing. A lot of activities, operational activities have occurred over time, and we thought it fit to have this press briefing so that we can brief members of the Fourth Estate as to most of the major activities we have undertaken over the weeks, bordering on the incident that happened in the Bay States. And we also have other major investigations for which we have a representative from CID, the person of Mr. Aliu, to actually brief this body so that at least we can update you on major activities we have investigated and some of the areas we've handled over the weeks, including the Operation Smooth Running, which from my own perception is very successful. We've been able to contain a good number of bike riders up from the Central Business District, and we have also utilized our officers to make sure that at least we sanitize the Central Business District. So without much ado, the fine details will be presented by the various accountable officers, and Mr. Ali who is representing the head of CID, so that at least you can actually have information from the police for the information of members of the public. So once more, on behalf of the IGP and the Executive Management Board members, I want to formally welcome you to the press briefing. Feel free to ask questions. Where you require clarification, you can ask your questions so that this on our own side will be able to respond to those clarifications. So once more, thank you very much for attending this press briefing.
Thank you so much. I see the landscape of the journalism is changing.
I don't all know Mr.
But I don't know a lot of them. They are all changed.
Yes.
The people are new as journalists are no longer
just returning from peacekeeping.
Among these people, you know, in the likes of Crystal and others that we are coming here.
So I understand new breed of journalists.
Well, these are the new breed. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I think this is my first brief since I came back, and I want to thank you for honoring our invitation. My name is Ahmad Umana. I'm the operations at the moment. We have very few cases, and I know Mr. Brahma Kamara has been giving you updates on our reports, major reports that we have. But the most crucial one, of course, that you people will want to know about more, I think should be up to date now, and that could have been the Hastings murder that took place, I think about the 14th last month. You know, and the second one was the Kono murder that you also knew about, the one that one Fengai, combatant Fengai, was murdered by Econ. These are two splinter groups of C4C party that had the encounter about 2 weeks ago. And CID is now investigating. The matter was initially handled by Kwaidu, and there were a few retributions, and the house of one of the perpetrators, one of the assailants, was burnt down completely. And 5 of those that committed the murder are now in the hands of the police, and they are in Kenema. They are supposed to be brought down to Freetown for continuation of investigations. Because 9 people were actually in that group, and 4 are on the run, and we are looking for them. The bike riders, of course, you all knew about the threat of the bike riders. That was on the 20th or so. 20th, we had a meeting with them, and on the 23rd of April, we had a large group of bike riders who were prevented actually from coming into the CBD. But we did not just act like that on our own. As usual, people know how humane the SLP is. We brought them here. We had a long meeting with the executive and told them about the CBD. They understood us, and they asked for alternative routes along the hills and the bypasses, which were granted by the IGP. And after that, we went and opened the CSC road on the mountain there, in order to allow them to be flying, so that they will get some job to do. But I think preventing them from coming into, they call this place Kuwait. I don't know what is here. Kisi Road to here, to the CBD is called Kuwait. And they said it's very expensive. It sometimes costs some people 20,000, 30,000 to just move from that point to here. And we have been under instructions that this should never take place. So we had to prevent them from doing so. So on the 23rd, they came into this city, and forced their way into various areas, into Lumley, into how do I call the place? Into Motor Mango, through Spur Road, and to Grammar School, where they had to damage the station that we have there, the small boost, to Regent, and they caused a lot of damage and intimidated our people. The entire population of Freetown was jittery on that day, So, but we had to restore calm, and we had to continue the following day. So what we are saying is, this is for the good of the nation. It is not for the good of the police, because people are of the opinion that we, the police, own those bikes. Then if that is true, then I think we are doing the right thing. Let us arrest our own bikes, because they are ours. So an operation Smooth Ride is coming to stay. It is not going. It's coming to stay. It was done by Mr. Pablo Bangura, and he succeeded. He did not do it as an individual. It was done by the police, but with the authority of the minister. So ours, we had a minister here. He had to brief us. He had to brief the bike riders at the same time. And we all agreed that they will not come to the CBD. So we are still holding on to the CBD, and we are going to do so as long as possible. So this is for us. Now, I don't know, but a few days after Operation Smooth Ride was seen to be successful, we now saw how smooth it was to move from here to Kisi. Yes, I moved one day between here, and my house. That I normally take 1 hour, 2 hours. It was done in less than 30 minutes. This tells you that the obstructions were caused by somebody else, and not by the vehicles themselves. So I will go to the visit of FIFA. I don't know whether you know about it. It's ongoing today. I think they have arrived. FIFA is here, and CAF, the president of FIFA and the president of CAF, are in Freetown today. They will pass the night here, and they will be visiting. I think they are now in the president. With the president, they will have to stay there. We'll have a long meeting, and we'll have a meeting with the Israeli Football Association and the mayor and several other heads today, and then tomorrow. And tomorrow they will both leave. They all both came with private jets.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And yes, I think so. These are the most important things I have. Konomoda.
Yeah.
I think that is all from me. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Just to add a few things to that, it is just about the extent to which we went in getting them involved in discussing matters affecting their welfare. That's the bike riders. I also did the same thing. We had them invited to our police officers' mess.
Yes.
About 300 of them. Yes, including the executive themselves. They were there with us. We told them that this is just about creating coexistence, so that at least we can live amicably. Decongest doesn't mean we are going to get rid of you from the city. No, just to have this low reduce number too much inside the city. You see, so we discussed with them, and they were very happy. You see, just to show that at least they too are important. They too also live. Their lives also is good to live with. We had, and that is the kind of police force we have now. It's not a question of going into their lives, taking away what is supposed to be their own rights. We have respect for their rights. We thought it necessary that at least we need to have some discussions so that they will understand. And exactly that we did. Only to turn out again later on. But it is better. That is human nature. That is human nature. In one way or the other, he can react to things. especially when it's about survival. So really, we would want you at least you be in that structure or conduit that will take such information to them. Please help us so that let them understand. We don't need to go into war. They are brothers, they are children, and even later on, we were met to a good number of them are graduates. It's just because that there are no alternative jobs for now. But they need to show some understanding as it is. Let them show understanding. Now we're all living. Well, you can even imagine if only there was this level of understanding between them and our very selves. Like if they had understood what the IG was trying to achieve, then I didn't see any need for this kind of strenuous relationship. Because just imagine, IG, like me, I was in charge of Eastern Police. Can you imagine? An AIG sent at least to take care of Eastern Police, just to make sure at least that policy, succeeds. My colleagues, some of them were sent. Memuna was in charge of Ross Road.
Okay, Ross Road.
Ross Road. IG wanted at least that policy to succeed, and I think he has succeeded. So please, let's understand each other. IG, DIG, let me give you this.
Okay.
My
Let's
boss.
continue with the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
So, who's sharing?
Yes, me. Yes. So let's have the director of crime services to come in now. But he's not here, but he has his representative.
Yeah.
The latest.
Good afternoon all. I'm Superintendent MKLU, Operations Officer CID. We have a series of issues under investigation, but the key ones that has state concern are as follows. One, murder at Godrich. A few weeks back, we got a complaint that husband and wife were murdered in their premises, Tucker Drive, Godrich. In the course of the investigation, we went there, we met the husband and wife, Mr. Fifa and wife. They were tied with stab wounds. Their body was almost on the verge of composing. The body is now at Connaught. So we have been looking at this investigation. Fortunately, upon a tip-off, we have now the prime suspect in the person of Mohammed J. Kane. He has made a confessional statement that yes, he murdered those two people. He alone. Why? He did say that they promised him for him to go to America. He's a young guy, 26 years old. But he failed. So on that, he retaliated. He went to this man, Mr. Fufana, who is a surveyor, lured him into preparing a document, quantity surveyor, alleging that he has got a contract so that he wants to quantify the amount he should get. While the man was busy calculating the document, he went to a kitchen and took a matter pencil, knocked him on his spinal cord. The man fell down. When the wife heard about the sound, she came to the door. She also attacked the wife, killed both of them. He locked the room, went outside. The next day, he came and carted away all their properties on the town. Stole the vehicle belonging to this late man. So the vehicle is now with us. It's in our custody. How wicked people are. The second one is prison theft of foam mattresses. A few days back, upon tip-off, we do community-led policing. We got a tip-off that intelligence-led, that certain prison officers, saboteurs, they are. So we acted upon that. We went to a particular location of that is region 46 region 2 and discovered quantity of foam mattresses, totally 156 foam mattresses of different sizes. We interrogated the man who was in charge, reporting that they call it ASC, attached the main correctional center Pandemba Road. He made a confidential statement that he took those mattresses, pretending that he is relocating them into the former special court because they have another facility there.
Yes.
Instead of going to the designated place, he took it on his own to another place for his own personal gain. So he's assisting the investigation. We have completed the investigation. We have sent the file to law officer department for legal advice. But he's still with us. His name is Mr. Abubakar Nyakui. Abubakar Nyakui. The third one is OSD who assaulted a lady with a magazine. A magazine where a magazine is an instrument that houses the bullets of a rifle. I believe you saw it on mobile, on social media. These two have been now assisting the investigation together with the CDID. The shooting incident at history, we have completed the investigation, we have sent the file to law officer department because that is the procedure. Because such matter we cannot just send it to court. They have to give us legal advice for proper prosecution. Then NAXA commissioner, one of her errand boy carted away close to some money. I will not show the figure, but close to over 100 million euros. We mounted the investigation. That man was nabbed in Guinea Conakry. So this time round, Guinea police, they are cooperating with our Interpol. They arrested that man. They have handed over the man to us. It's assisting the investigation. Added to that, a few days back, a vehicle was intercepted by the Guinea police at Balamuya. Those criminals, they were with the complimentary card. Complimentary card issued to somebody. This is a complimentary card. This is an example of complimentary card. That's why I sometimes look jittery in giving complimentary card to somebody. It's just a risk. So the man was in possession of the complimentary card of head of CID JK Alpha. He was using that card, pretending that he has been sent by JK Alpha head of CID to Guinea to collect something on board FJ Cruiser Jeep. So they arrested him. They handed over that man to us. They are in our custody. The vehicle is currently with us at CID headquarters. So they are cooperating with us. Like my boss did say that Kwedu murder of one Fengai, they have transferred that matter now. Yesterday we have got the suspect from Kenema. Or Kenema is the divisional headquarters for Kono Kenema Kaila. Regional. So we have got the suspect, 5 of them, including one Mohammed Johnson, who did state in statement that he stabbed the deceased while he's fighting. So they agree to that. But now these are the key issues we are handling at CID headquarters. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kelly. We now have to get
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And as we heard from the Director of Operations and also Director of General Affairs, in a bid to ensure free flow of vehicular traffic within the Central Business District, the Traffic Directorate conducted an operation codenamed Smooth Running 2, together with the Sierra Leone Road Safety Corps, SLRSA. On Friday, the 16th April 2021, 45 motorbikes were arrested at the Cotton Tree roundabout. That's between Panema Road and Shekastimi Streets. And on the 19th April 2021, on to the 22nd April 2021, Freetown East Region arrested 135 motorbikes along Kisi Road, Eastern Police Clock Tower area. Then traffic management and road safety Directorate arrested 117 motorbikes. So the total number of motorbikes arrested during the operations are all in all 297. So far, 67 of some of these motorbikes have been ticketed at both Central Police Station and Police Training School, PTS compound. The remaining 52 that were arrested within that period are still impounded at PTS compound and Central Police Station respectively, waiting to be ticketed by SLRSC cops. The operations itself were carried out by both the SLP and the Sierra Leone Road Safety Authority cops. Tickets of 500,000 yuans is being issued by SLRSC cops officers on arrested bikes. So whenever you are issued with a ticket, you go to the bank, you pay through the bank system, then you come with your receipts, and then they will release your bike. And SLRSC cops are in charge of all those payments. With the implementation of the operation, major streets within the central business districts, inclusive Upgon, Kisi Road, Frobe Road, Godwin Street, Sheikh Stephen Street, Bosin Street, Padeba Road, Wallace Johnson Street, Campbell Street, and St. John Roundabout, they have been freed from most commercial motorbikes, and the free flow of vehicular traffic and pedestrians are ongoing smoothly. As we've heard from the Director of Operations, the operation is on course, and we shall continue to monitor compliance from these commercial motorbike riders. I think that's all I have that is necessary for you to know about the operation on the smooth run.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The CBD.
Remember, we told you initially that when the policeman does something, especially something of a criminal nature, we investigate administratively and equally to be investigate criminally. We've given you the criminal aspect, especially with regards to the one for instance. I want to look at the administrative aspects and by CDI. So this is why they are here to report on the issues bordering on the ones already mentioned by Mr. MP Abu. But now we are now looking at the aspect of conduct.
Mr. Thank you very much. As you rightly said, the CDID, we are looking into the disciplinary aspect of the actions of the police. Firstly, I'm going to talk about the issue of the police officer that hits the magazine on one lady's head. Albert Bakar Bamura Achachu Kel Commercial Bank, Wilkinson Road. Now, he's presently in a custody. That we've charged him to court, and the complainant here, the victim, whose name is Kadatu Mansare of Columbia, Susan's Bay. We got all their statements and witness statements as well, and the matter has been sent to the presentation for hearing, and the defaulter is as well under suspension. The hearing is ongoing, and again, there is another matter that we are looking into. During the course of the bike operations. There was one inspector who went to SLRSC and created an incident of violence. We caught him in our net and we investigated him, and he has been suspended from duty at the moment. And yesterday he was brought into a disciplinary court. Of course, he pleaded guilty, and the presiding officer is now preparing the final report for the attention of the authorities to take the appropriate action. Again, we had another issue that we are dealing with. As we all aware that we are looking into the human rights of individuals. There is a matter that was detected wherein a police officer by the name of James Mohammed Kamara detained a suspect without obtaining statement, no report for some days, and that was detected by the proactive team, and the police officer is presently under suspension, and he has well been charged to a disciplinary court. He's undergoing trial. Then the issue of Hastings incident, that fatal shooting incident. Now we've got all their statements, all the necessary things, we've got them, and presently we are preparing them to answer to their charges. We've charged them to a disciplinary court. After dealing with them, we hand them over as the CDID operations officer has rightly said. We hand them over to them for all the necessary action after we have done our own part. And again, there is an incident that I believe you may want to know about. The Bintumani Conference Hall with members of Parliament, the pepper spray incident, which was reported at the CDID here. That action was done by one Inspector Mohammed Agama Kamara, and OSD are charged at the OSD headquarters on the 19th at about 1500 hours. The incident occurred. That investigation is in progress, and the defaulter is as well under suspension until after the hearing. Then authorities will decide whether the suspension to be lifted, and by tomorrow it will be in our court to answer to the charges for his actions. As for the moment, these are the issues that we are handling presently, that we have at hand, that we are looking into.
Okay, thank you.
I want to thank everyone.
Thank you very much, ASP Patrick Jalo, for the comprehensive update. You know, what we want to make clear is this: the police, we are governed by two rules, so we are governed by two laws. We have the laws of the land governing every other person, Sierra Leone, and then we have our own disciplinary laws as well. So this is why he spoke on the aspect of discipline. You cannot take somebody to court as a policeman. Somebody has to be taken to court, he has to be taken to court, and somebody has to be dismissed. So this is why we have to do the internal, and when that person, if dismissed, then you cannot take him to court. Otherwise, you cannot take him to court as a policeman. No, we don't do that one. So this is why they have made their own internal investigations. So now we have AIG Patrick Johnson to give a final brief on something very important.
Thank you very much. You know, the way
the welfare of our personnel is paramount. The SLP has encouraged its officers to file insurance. It is paramount. The insurance companies, like the NIC, has come in to pay, and they promise to pay regularly all the benefits to the police officers concerned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
But we are yet to agree because we actually knew with the process with them, we still continue to advocate so that the amount will be paid before they are due. So they have the responsibility when it is due for them to pay for them to honor such a responsibility to our men and women.